إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, in front of us is a great topic that we need to discuss, and that topic is the topic of parents and children. The topic that is dear to our heart. We all love our children very much, and we all love our parents very, very much. But why is it that there are problems within the relationship? And I want to ask the parents today, before I start the lecture itself. How many parents in here, in this gathering today, that have problem with their children? Can I, maybe the light shine away a little bit, maybe? It kind of just is in my eyes, so. So how many parents that have problem with their children? And how many children, how many youth have problem with their parents? Can anybody raise their hand? Nobody wants to raise their hand? Everybody is ashamed to raise their hand that I have a problem in my family. Yes? What is the problem, Sheikh? What do you think one of the problems that you have, or you know that people have? We don't understand each other. Does not understand each other. How about the youth? What's the problem with your parents? Anybody? Nobody want to raise their hand? High expectation. Your parents have so high expectation, right? And the parents doesn't understand the children. This is a big topic. It's come down to parenting. It's come down to parenting. What's parenting mean here? How you raise your children. Do I blame the mothers and the father, or do I blame the children? Now, you both have problems. The children have a problem, the parents have a problem. So who do I blame now? If you come to a court, what are you going to say? My parents give me a problem and my children give me a problem. So both of you have a problem. So how can we solve this problem? To solve this problem, we have to go back to understanding the Quran and the Sunnah of how the parents should raise their children. How should it start? So this is very important, because how you raise your children, can you change your children? My question is to everybody. Can you change your children? Maybe some of you say, no, it's impossible sometimes to change your children, right? Yes, you can. You can change your children to be whatever you want them to be, and however you want them to be. Do I have a proof? Yes. The Prophet ﷺ said what? كل مولود يولد على what? Fitrah. All the children born upon fitrah, that means they are pure, clean, empty. Their mind is pure, clean. They have no negative about you as a parent. They don't have any problem with you whatsoever. They have no problem with the world whatsoever. They're clean and pure. Fitrah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created these children when they were born. They are pure as a white cloth. There's no dot in it, in their mind, in their heart. Pure, clean. But what's changed them is the parents. Right? What's the continue of the hadith? What the continue of the hadith? فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِ وَيُنَصِّرَانِهِ وَيُمَجِّسَانِهِ. Right? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what Rasulullah said here? فَأَبَوَاهُ. The parents change them what? To become a Yahudi, to become a Yahudi or Nasrani or a Median. So the Prophet ﷺ say here that the parents are changing the children. So whatever you want your children to be, you can change them. You can change their religion. Even though they're born on fitrah, even though they are born on fitrah, clean and pure, it's your duty to make them either to be a Muslim, or to be a Jew, or a Christian, or the people who worship fire. So to take from this is that however you want to change your children, it's up to you. So who is it to blame now? Did you blame the children or you blame the parents? The parents. Because you didn't bring them the way that you want them to be. Right? You didn't bring them the way that you want them to be. So it's the parents. You need, my dear parents, you need to take care of your children. That is upon the deen. And we're going to discuss about that. Okay. So now that we have an understanding, that is the parents is the one to be blamed for the things that the children are either disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or disobey the parents, or doesn't have manners, bad characters. It is the parents' responsibility. Because the minute they're born, the minute the child born, the child is with the parents 24/7. They don't know anybody else except you. You are everything to them. You, the parents, are everything to that little child. 24/7. At that moment, you can start to help them, change things, molding them to what you want them to be. So it is the parents' duty. Now, then I'm going to talk to the mother now. Now we're understanding that, okay, it's a problem as the parents. And I'm going to break down first just to understand that it's the problems with the parents. And then I'm going to break it down, who is the first responsibility within the parents? It's the mother. First responsibility is the mother. That is because we don't need to go back about the marriage and all those things. Everybody knows what need to be done. So now let's talk about the mother. The mother, when you bearing the child, or before even bearing the child. But let's start with the bearing of the child. We take an ayah from Quran and how we understand. So mothers, all right, pay attention. This is very important because it has a lot of effect. So we're going to break down the father and the mother and the son and the daughter, the children itself. So the mothers, when the wife of Imran, when she bearing the child, bearing Maryam, alayhi salam, in her womb, what did she say? بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذ قالت امرأة عمران رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. What did she say? Subhanallah. If you, all your mothers, understand this, every single child that you bear or bore, it's your duty. And it's not just the mother, but the father also. She said, remember when the wife of Imran said, "Oh my Lord, I have vowed to you what in my womb to be dedicated for your service. So except from me, verily you are the all-hearer and the knowing." Look at this ayah. While she having carrying Maryam in her womb, she dedicated this child that in her womb. She dedicated this child that is in her womb. She said, "I'm dedicate this child, oh my Allah, I dedicate it to you in your service." She gave this child to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to serve the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. That's the first things for the mother to say what? To ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want the pious child, don't you? You want the pious children. And you want your children to be serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want your child to be the scholar. You want your child to be the alim. You want your child, whatever you want to be, you making dua. Asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she's not just asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here. She dedicate this child that in her womb in the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my mothers, this is very important. So you change your child not only when the child's already come into this world, but before even it comes out of this world. You start from the very beginning, not when it's already out, but in the beginning, before even the child's come out. So it is very important that we reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, I dedicate this child to you, to your service, for your service. Do whatever you want with this child. It's now in the protection of who? When you do that, what is that child in protection of? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He will take care of this child. Surely He will take care of this child. Because you give this child to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to serve Him. Look at this. So it is very, very important to make dua for not just for the worldly things, but making dua to have these pious children. And then, after Maryam was born, after she gave birth, after she gave birth to the child, in addition to that, she said what? وَإِنِّي أُعِيذُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Subhanallah. So after giving birth to this child, she said what? وَإِنِّي أُعِيذُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Who's our enemy? It's the shaitan. They're going to face, our children are going to face the shaitan. They're going to deviate our child to go astray. So what she did is she asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protection, not only for her, for Maryam, but her offspring, the children of Maryam. So Allah protect this child and her offspring from the shaitan. Look at this. How many of us doing that when we have children? Maybe we didn't even know that, which we should do. So here, mothers and fathers constantly making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide your children when it is under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can your children go astray? Because He's the one who's guiding, who's the one who gives everything that this child is needed, and give every protection to this child. So it is under Allah's protection. When you do that, it is under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection. Now, we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to go very fast. This topic itself will take, a lot to discuss. But we fast forward to the father duties, the duties of the father. Right? Is there a duty for the father? Now is the child has born. The child born, and the child grow up. The mother has done her part. She carried for 9 months in her womb. That's pretty amazing. Congratulations, mothers. It's amazing. You've done a great job. I mean, it's suffering for the mothers to carry 9 months of how many pounds? About from 6 pounds to 10 pounds or 11 pounds, right? In the womb. Just for the thought. The fathers doesn't know how difficult it is, but the mothers will describe the difficulties and the pain that the mothers go through. I challenge the fathers, 9 months, put the backpack in the front, empty backpack in the front, and then every single day, just a pebbles in the backpack, right, for 9 months. Don't take it off. In the day and night, wherever you go, carry with you for 9 months, right? Imagine this, even in the shower, eating, sleeping, you carry that backpack, right, in front of you, and drop a pebble every day. And for 9 months, until it reached about 10 pounds. Imagine, but that backpack causing you no pain whatsoever. It's just carrying it. But the mothers carrying those babies in the womb, especially when the time of delivery, toward the time close to delivery, the pain is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you, mothers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you Jannah. SubhanAllah. It's suffering. Really, really, difficult. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them Jannah. And now, after the child's growing up to be understanding, whose duty now? We want to take the Surah Luqman. It's the duty of the father. In Surah Luqman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take this story, the story of Luqman alayhi salam, in the Quran and dedicate it in the Quran. SubhanAllah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named it Surah Luqman. Very special. What in this story is the story of relationship between father and son. The duties of the fathers and son. So the guidance start when the child starts to understanding is the duties of the father. As in Surah Luqman. وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Look at this. The conversations. When Luqman was admonishing his son and how he addressed his son, how he speaks to his son. Ya bunayya, right? Look at this, the sweetness of speech. You know, when we want to speak to our children, and especially when they get in trouble, hey boy, come here, right? Now you know, right? It's the child say, oh, I'm in trouble now. Okay, when my father is speaking to me like, I'm in trouble. How you build your relationship with your children is start with the communication. It's very, very important as a father. You building the relationship with your father or your son in a very early age. Very, very early age. You know you love, you play with them, you kiss them, you do things with them, you do all kinds of things with them, and you teach them. But when they grow up, you left them. Is that what you're supposed to do? No. That relationship is continue. You're supposed to continue your relationship with your children. And when you speak to your children, don't scream at them, don't yell at them, don't curse them. Doesn't matter what the problem that they may cause. Doesn't matter what harm has done that they have done. Do not yell at them, scream at them, or beating up. They might not see. The problem is that we're assuming that the child understands everything, knowing what you want them to do. The children might not know everything, might not know what you need, what you want. So it starts out with communication. That's why these days, my children doesn't speak with me, or my parents doesn't speak to me. And, I have problem with my parents because they don't care about me. Or the parents that my children doesn't care about me. And that is the breakdown between parents and children, is the communication. So here in this ayah, Luqman alayhi salam said, Ya bunayya, oh my dear son, look at this, sweet, beautiful, nice tone, voice, everything. You speak with love, you speak with care. Ya bunayya, right? That's how you're supposed to speak, is to speak with, really nice tone and sweet voice, kindness, even if they're in trouble. When they have, the relationship between you, they share things with you. They share their hardship, they share their difficulty, they share their problem with you. So you, as a father, not just a father, but the father should be also a counselor. A father should be also a friend. A father should be also the one that you can vent out, the problems. So the father should be everything to the child. You don't want your child to go take someone else to discuss their problem. You want your children to come to you discuss their problem. Here, Surah Luqman. I want everybody to go to Surah Luqman and read how Luqman teach his son. I'm going to summarize it. So, the surah itself, Ya bunayya, la tushrik billah, right? Do not make shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first things that Luqman taught his son recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The important is the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing who's your Lord, who's your creator. Teach your children the Tawheed. The first things, make sure they know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not make shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first thing he's taught. And then the story go on and on. We talk about what? But after knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the parents. Teach the manners of how to deal with parents. He taught. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the next ayah after is the learning of teaching the children to take care of the mother, the parents. And then after that, teach about what? After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the parents, then come to salah. Teach your child, Ya bunayya aqimus salah, right? Ya bunayya aqimus salah, wa'mur bil ma'ruf, wa nahy 'anil munkar. So after knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after knowing parents, then coming to the salah. Important. How many of us wake up our children for Fajr? Age 7. Remember? The Prophet ﷺ ordered what? Age 7 to order them pray. And when they reach 10, now you make sure that they wake up for Fajr. How many of us really wake up our children for prayer when they are 7? A few of us maybe did or do. But it's a must. You want your child to be the pious child, you have to start from very beginning, an early age. You know, a tree, the branch of a tree getting big, you're not going to be able to bend that branch. It's so big, right? You know, your child is going to stand up in front of you. He's bigger than you. And what are you going to do with me now, right? Nothing you can do to them. But if when they're young, you can bend. It's soft. However you want to mold them, they'll follow you. So start early. And then teaching the manners of what? Even to walking. I'm summarizing this here. So even walking, Luqman alayhi salam said, waqsid fi masjid. That is to moderate in your walking. Just even walking. This is manners, teaching manners to your children. Teaching manners from walking to talking, lowering your voice when you're speaking to the people. Now we have our children walking with saggy hands, arrogant, and that's what is not allowed to do in Islam. And our children are doing that. So again, this topic, it doesn't do justice for just 1 hour or a half hour. It's just not enough time for us to talk about it. But you understand the point. And then lastly, because now we have the parents. Now we have to talk about how about the children? What is the children role? Remember that is now the father taught everything that the child needs to know. Right? The children, if you teach your children properly, you give them all the knowledge that they need, the basic knowledge, the foundation, the fundamental understanding of how to be a human being, now your child grow up to be a decent person. And look at the story. I'm going to end with the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. All right. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam, what happened? Because the father and the child are very close to each other now. We build our relationship, we love each other, we play with one another, we take each other's advice, we keep each other's secret and all those things. The last thing is Yusuf alayhi salam. All right? Yusuf alayhi salam, when he had a dream, who can he trust to speak to? Now, if your child you have no relationship with your child does not have any relationship with you, the child will not come to you asking for advice or seeking advice from you, or discuss any secret things or any problems. But here Yusuf alayhi salam, he went to his father and he said his father, إِذْ قَالَ يُوسُفُ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِي. Look at how he speaks to his father. Ya abati, oh my dear father. My dear brothers and sisters, the young brothers and sisters. Your parents. You can substitute anybody else, but you cannot substitute your parents. If you lose your parents, you will never have another parents. So take care of them right now. Be very kind to them. Love them, care for them. Do the best things you can do for them. It's very, very important. Jannah is under the feet of your mother. Keep that in mind. So be kind to your parents. Because one day you're going to have children. And you wish, right? You wish that you've been take care of your parents. Because you know why? If you are bad to your parents, your children are going to be bad to you. If you harm your parents, your children are going to harm to you. Going to do harm to you. If you abandon your parents, knowing that your children will abandon you. Whatever you do to your parents, you will get payback. Maybe double. So be careful. And the curse of your parents upon you, the malaika say, Ameen. Accept it. And you be cursed. Destroyed. Done. So be careful. So here we go back to the story of Yusuf. Because the relationship is so strong, he can trust his father. And trust his father that his father is going to keep the secret. And his father will keep the secret. When he had a dream, he said what? إِذْ قَالَ يُوسُفُ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِي إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشَرَ كَوْكَبًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ رَأَيْتُهُ لِي سَاجِدِينَ. This is very, the long story about the dream and all those things. But the point here, that he went to his father and seek his father advice. This is the relationship that we want as a parents, that your children come to you for any advice. Any problems that they have, you want your children to come to you for advice and for help. Don't chase them away. Be good to them. And take care of them. I know, your parents, as a parent, you love your child. You do whatever you can. But the problem is we neglected them as a parents. Then they start neglecting us. So I guess my time is way over. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. It's all, my hope is that just this little pep talk, I guess, hopefully, we all benefit from it. We all benefit from it. Because it's a very, very important subject. Because we as a parents and children, we live with one another for a long, long time. Not only in this dunya, but also in the hereafter. We're going to live with one another. If we cannot face each other now, how can we face each other in the hereafter? Are we going to be together in paradise? We might be in trouble in the hereafter if we're not getting along in this dunya. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك صلى الله عليه وسلم.